So let me have a look because I'm not even sure I remember. Okay, so print was literally just a version of show, right? We said that this is
Yeah.
exactly like show, but we gave it a different name so that we can write instances. And then we had, what else did we have? And then we had like equal, which is EQ, and then
and the results for the compare.
Okay, and then we had the like compare. What was it called? The class. Okay, it's called compare. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, which is ORD, ORD for in actual Purescript. Okay, so let's see. Instance print the point, where if we're trying to print it, we can print. Yeah, this is very reasonable. I think in order for this to work, you need to do something like this. Otherwise, it won't compile. But I think it should compile. Oh, and you've mistyped this. Okay. And then, do you know what the error is here?
Let me check. Unknown data constructor the point. Oh yeah, because it's make the point.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So
I still have an error though.
Let's see. The error is the following have not been implemented. Okay, can you see the error now? If you look at
the following type class members have not been implemented. Print the point string. Oh, so this is read like a string, and the output is an int, right?
Actually, that's the first problem, right? Because you're actually printing a string. Like, this is correct, but this is wrong, right? You just need to type string there.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Okay,
but there's one
so
more.
Let's see the next error then.
There's one. I think that this is the last error that you have right now. So the error is a bit misleading because it's saying that it's missing, but like if you read it carefully, it's saying that you have not implemented the function print because you've implemented print dPoint instead of just print.
Okay, so I have to create it in the.
No, you just have to rename this like so. Right, that's all you need to do. It literally needs okay, and then I lied. There's one more error.
Data constructor.
So
was given 2 arguments in an expected 1. Okay, so the point. Wait, where is it?
So let me actually. So you see how this is the constructor dPoint here, and it takes a single argument, this record, right? It's not 2 separate arguments, because like the way you wrote it, it would have, in order for what you wrote to work, we need something like this.
Yeah.
Right, but it's not like this. It's like the one above, right?
Yeah. Okay, so that's what I had in mind. The int, but.
So do you want me to fix it for you, or?
I think it's. Isn't it like this?
No, that's not quite the syntax. So the easiest thing you can do is just do this x and y. I think that will work. And of course, we need the x here and x here and y here. Why am I not typing it correctly? But and this will work.
Yeah.
Because you can't type anything here, right? It has to be x and y because there are x and y here.
Yeah, right? That's how they were named. Yeah.
You can give them different names by I think something like this. Int one is, or I don't even remember if this way or the other way around. But that's not very, like, people don't usually do that. You just use the names here.
Okay.
That's very, like, I've seen that very rarely. Okay. Okay. So is this clear for you now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So. I didn't type the instance. What? Yeah, I forgot the first line. I deleted it today actually because I thought I wrote too much. But
so let me answer. So somebody in chat, and maybe this is useful for you as well. Somebody in the chat asked, could I write print x combined with y? And the answer is, if you can, this doesn't work because these are integers, right? So you kind of need to transform both of these integers to string before you can concatenate them via this, right? So this doesn't work on on integers because it's not concatenating them, right? You cannot do this. And we will learn more about this operator today, actually, but it doesn't work like this, right? This is the correct way because you need to convert the first one to x and then the second one to x. And well, of course, you would probably, so this, like, for example, if you have something like x, y, kind of like 1 and 2, right? If you set something like this, if you print it, you'd get 12, the result, right? So normally you'd probably want to do something like this, actually, right? You'd want to do something like this and then x and then maybe a comma and then y and then close parentheses or something like that, right? So that instead of 12 you'd print like 1 comma 0, right here, if that makes sense. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But I mean, what you wrote type check, but this is probably going to be what you actually want, right, in this case.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now we go to the equal instance.
Okay.
Where I still have to type out the instance because I messed up the first row.
So
it
just
would be
like
yeah. So it would be equal. And this would actually be equal.
Yep.
Key point. Where and this is it.
Yeah, that's correct so far. But then, okay, so then you have the same error as before, right? This needs to literally be called equal, not equal to, not a different name, because otherwise it will error, right? So when you're defining instances, you're basically overloading the same function, if you will. It's not really overloading; it's something different, but it's like you have to use the same name. So it has to be equal.
Okay, we have to expect this error at every exercise because then I have equal 3, equal 4. Okay.
Okay, and then this is right, like you want to grab 2 points and get a boolean back. And then the pattern matching, like the constructor name and the pattern matching is also wrong, exactly in the same way as it was wrong for print.
Yeah, so it's x and y.
Well, like look at the syntax here.
Yes. Yes, I need the brackets. The proper ones.
And the constructor name.
Yeah.
There you go. And parentheses as well. And
yeah, but what I'm missing here is this x and y as well? Or
yep, so in this case you won't be able to do that. So in this case we either need to so there's two ways we can fix this, right? We can rename this, which I think might not end up as nice. The way I would probably do it here is I would do something like P1 here for point 1, right? And then here, let's try to fix this. And here I would probably just say P2.
Okay, so now I can actually fix this. I think it's p1.x
exactly
equals p2.x
yep.
and p1.y equals p2.y.
Yep, perfect. That's the easiest way to fix. And then now you have
and it's again the make the point.
Exactly. I think it should work now. And actually, it's my bad here. I forgot a. There we go.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Yep. This is good.
Okay, so this one is where I think I did fine, but I'm not entirely sure.
So let's see. You have an instance. I think the first thing is it needs to start here. Okay. So let's see. Compare D point. Where again you have the same error here, so you can try to fix that. Mind the syntax because the parentheses are not in the right place. Look at the instance above.
I keep doing it. Like oh, what? Oh,
there you go.
Okay, and it's make the point anyway. I have to fix that as well. Okay.
Okay, and then
and now here I get p1.x and this is p2.x. Okay, Just tell me if this makes sense.
I'm waiting for you to finish because it does make
Okay.
sense so far, because I said x is more important, right? So you first try to do, okay, if either x's are different, then you can bail out easy, right?
Yeah.
And then the other way is if they are equal, then you're comparing y's, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is again p1.x. This would be it.
Yeah, I think this is correct. I think there are ways to make it slightly shorter, but this is correct.
Okay, I was sure you were gonna say this because it feels like it's kind of a cluster. It's too much. Like, how can I make it shorter?
Well, okay, so let's think. We could maybe, like, one way to do it shorter is you could say something like if these two are equal, like for example, let me copy this and then let's say that I don't think we need the rest. So if these two are equal, we could instead compare p1.y and p2.y.
Okay, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Because then it's like, okay, these are equal, so then it's just comparing two numbers, and we know how to compare numbers, right? So it's sort of like thinking recursively, if you will, right? It's kind of like, what doesn't it like? An expression cannot be determined for all inputs. Well, I guess we could say here
It's
otherwise.
the equals is missing, right?
No. So it's saying that. Well, I mean, the problem is Purescript doesn't know that only three options. Like if P1 is not greater and P1 is not smaller, then they have to be equal, right? Purescript doesn't know that these three things are all that there is, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's not able to do basic math in that way. So, like for example, and then it say, okay, but what if it's not bigger, not smaller, but also not equal, right? Which we know it's impossible, but Purescript doesn't know that. So
Okay.
so we kind of need to. So and otherwise is something like that always hits, right? But we know that otherwise is the same as equals, so it's fine.
Yes.
Okay, and I was saying like this is like usually when you implement instances for things that are made of smaller things like this, right?
Yeah.
Like have subcomponents, you usually reuse the instances for the subcomponents, right? Like recursive, if you will, right? Like this one, for example. Also here, right? You reused print, like print for x, correct? And even here, like we could just as well have said equal between this, p2, and then equal between these two instead of doing the sign, right? To just use our same instance, right? And again, this also works, and it's kind of flies into the same idea of we reuse the like inner types instances.
Okay. I did try to shorten it out in the next exercises, I think. Give me 1 second. Okay.
So let's see. The thing here is like in exercise 3, we had this list int, right?
Yeah.
And then the idea was for you to write the instances, right? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Apparently.
Well, I mean, okay. So the first problem is that you need to add a couple of spaces here to indent it.
Yeah.
And then you are okay. Let's see. So can you spot the error, or do you want me to help?
1 second.
It's the same error you very often do.
The same
Yep, the same error you often do.
as today or in general?
Yeah, also today you've done this. You're putting the parentheses in the wrong place here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's before the make list.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep doing this.
I'm pretty sure I know. It looks like a function call rather than like a pattern match, and you're more used to doing function calls.
Okay, but I still messed up something. What?
So this just needs to be list int, not print list int, right? You're like here. This is just a list int, right? Not a print list int. Okay. And then, okay, so then the problem is that this needs to be called print, not print list int. Although I'm not sure why it's, okay, in print list int. That's a bit weird as giving this error. But anyway, let's rename this to print.
Okay.
And then let's see if it's still not liking it, because this looks right to me. Can we determine
All inputs. Oh, if the list is empty.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So. Okay. Well. 1 second.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Which one do I care about being in? Oh, it's just. Right?
Well, no, the result needs to be a string, not a list, right?
Yeah. So I go for like.
I mean, there's multiple ways you can go, right? So, for example, what do you have to, what would you print if you have an empty list? You could print an empty string. You could print just literally the text empty list or whatever you want. Like, it doesn't really matter. You just need to print a string, right? Yeah, that's also fine.
Okay?
Yep, that's perfectly fine.
Okay. So is this okay then?
Sort of. I would probably use print here as well, just because we know how to do that. And I'd probably at the very least add a comma in between values, right? Because otherwise it's going to be like again,
it's hard to read.
Yeah, otherwise it's like for list 3, 2, 1, you'll get 3, 2, 1, right? Instead of 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, cool. So yeah, next EQ.
The next one is the equal instance. Oh
yeah, Miles has a good idea here for, we could even make it one line shorter, this compare. Yeah, unfortunately Miles' Twitch doesn't have Markdown, so there's no way to do this, to type nice code in Twitch, but I got the idea. So, okay, let me show you how, and then we can go get back to this. Let me comment this for a second. Right, so another way you could do this is, again, even reuse compare even harder, right, if that's a thing, right? So you could say, okay, if p1.x is different from p2.x, right? Then we just compare p1.x with p2.x, right?
Okay, yeah.
And then it's even one line shorter.
Yeah, yeah, okay,
right?
Yeah.
Because like if they're different, then I know what the result is. The result is either greater or lower, but it's compare tells me that. And then if they're equal, then we compare x and y. The y's. Yeah, this actually is even nicer, right? Because it's even clearer that we use the same function for in both cases, our compare.
Yeah,
I like this.
It makes sense, but I just didn't think about it.
I mean, you just saw me not think about it either. So.
Yeah.
Of course, even your initial version is perfectly fine. Don't worry about it, right? It's just something like... okay, so let's see. Okay, let's uncomment this and then go back. Okay, so...
The first thing I did was apparently
Why did you define a class instead of an instance, though?
Because I made it in multiple days. I checked it out and I'm sorry, but
no problem. So do you want to?
I think I saw some mistakes and I thought, okay, time to fix it up, and I just destroyed it. Okay, so I know that it's an equal instance. Yeah. Okay. So I do know that it's an instance, because why wouldn't it be? And it has to be equal. But I went for I pasted the 3 int. Wait, I pasted the wrong thing, I think.
Yep, looks like it.
Okay. Where is it?
Yeah, you can replace it if you want.
Okay. But still named it a class, apparently. And this would have to be equal list int.
Okay, it needs to be a lowercase e here, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where I check whether it's equal or not. So it's
But this one needs to be a capital E.
yeah, yeah, I was going to fix it.
Okay.
I was
So then you need to
having
indent
that.
these two lines for like 2 spaces or to the right, like
Yeah,
these two, both of them, and yeah, rename
yeah.
it to
And
equal.
remove the 3.
Okay, so let's see. It's indeed from list int to list boolean. Do you see the same error that you keep doing here?
Yes.
Okay.
So it has to be.
No. It's not that.
Oh,
It's the parentheses.
ah, dude. Okay.
Okay, same for the other one. Okay, so here this is not a record, right? This is just 2 things,
Yeah.
right? So you can do x and rest, y and rest. Okay, so
Yeah,
let's
I
see.
have to rename the equals as well.
Okay, so.
And of course this comes up because I need one more. So, oh, sorry. Well, if one of them is empty and actually if both of them are empty, it should return. Do I care what it returns if both of them are empty?
Oh, like if both of them are empty, then are they equal or not?
Yeah, they are equal, so I shouldn't care, right?
Why do you mean you
So-
shouldn't care? Shouldn't you return some value? Okay, exactly. That's good.
Okay, and I still need one where. So this one's empty and this one's not.
Okay, and then can they be
Oh.
equal?
No, so it would be false. And I still have to do the one where.
The other way around, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the other one is.
Yep. I think that's good. Or at least this part is good.
Now we go for the other errors.
So let's see what's saying here. So no.
No type class instance was found.
Okay, right. So this is a bit of a mess. This part here. So let's see. So you're trying. So you're calling the function equal on just one list and then trying to. Okay. So why don't you try to write this part again? Like, okay, don't look at this.
Okay.
Just try to write that from scratch. So what do you want to say? Actually, right. Wait. Before that, can you rewrite this first part? Okay. So let's delete this as well.
Okay.
So can you use the equal function between x and y instead of doing equals equals?
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you write that?
I write equal x.
Yep.
And y.
Yep, exactly. So this is a boolean, right? The result. And then we can do AND, right? The boolean AND. Yep. And then how do we test rest 1 and rest 2? The same, using equal. Yep, that's good so far.
I have to. But well, my only concern is, do I go rest 1, rest 2, or do I have to make them as lists?
They're already lists because this is already a list. The rest.
Yeah. Oh, but I put the space after
Yep.
the. Yeah.
And I
No,
think
it
that's
should be
correct.
fine.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because you're like using both equal and then equal equals in a way that didn't compile, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, this is correct. Okay. And then you also had the compare instance, right?
Yes.
That's a bit more complicated.
Oh. Let's see.
Let me do. Okay, moves things to the left a bit.
Okay.
Okay, so it's compare. Okay, so this looks right so far. Compare. Okay, again the spot the error here.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so if A is more than B or greater than B, then we're already done. Okay, otherwise if they're equal and compare, you can do the same thing as here in this place.
Okay, but first of all, I think it should be compare, not compare listed, right?
Yeah.
Or at least I changed the. Can I change the name here?
No, it has to be
No.
compared. So
Yeah,
so you
because
need to change this one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but then it's kind of, again, like you're using both this and you're like passing a single parameter here. So what you actually want to write here is very much
Yes.
like what we wrote. Where is it? Here.
Here.
Yeah. I think it's
Okay.
pretty much the same thing that you need to do.
Oh.
Or at least I
Oh.
think it would work the same way.
Okay, so I'm just gonna write it here,
Okay.
just so I have it in my head. And here we go. So if A
Yep.
is different
Then
than B,
Yep.
yeah, then I have to. I should just. I have to compare um A and B.
Yep.
Right.
That is reasonable.
Okay, and then I just go otherwise.
Yeah.
We just compare the rest 3 and the rest 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then just
Okay,
yes.
and I think this is correct for the okay, you can save it now and then you'll get an error.
Okay. Case expression could not be determined to cover all inputs. Okay,
And by the way,
so
if you read the error carefully, it will tell you exactly which inputs are missing.
Yeah, when either of them is empty.
Exactly.
So if let's say compare if empty and
You
L2,
can even use, okay, that's fine. That's
or,
fine.
or whatever.
You can even do underscore, but L2 is fine as well.
Okay.
So if the first one is empty and the second one still has values, what is the result?
Then it should just be false, right?
Well, no, because this is either
what?
greater, lower, or equal, right?
Yeah.
False.
So it's lower.
Yep, exactly.
Because empty should
you need a capital L there.
Yeah, but it finds it.
Oh, okay, you're using autocomplete. Cool.
Great.
Yep, and I think that's correct. Yep, I think that's it. Good job. Okay. So you kind of see that even though, like when you're writing these instances, even though like this is like, you'd say, oh, well, I have a list of integers that's totally different than having 2 integers. Well, it's not that different, right?
Yeah.
Like the main idea was the same, and then you just need to treat the empty cases, right? Okay.
Okay, so now I'm gonna put the 3 into data. I know that I don't need it, but
I think you actually need it, because I don't think it's here already.
Oh, it's not here? Okay.
Yeah. So I think in this case you actually do need it.
Okay.
Or actually, did we define it somewhere here already? I don't think we did. No, I don't think we did. So yeah, you actually do need it.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait. But I still need to use. I should use print here.
Yep, exactly.
Well.
Just print.
And of course, the error that always needs to be fixed.
But then this is more like D point, right? So this is a record. This isn't like, you see, like this is a record.
Yeah.
So you need either, no, that was fine. You still need to parenthesize like that.
I didn't. Okay.
So you either do like, so here you have to,
sorry.
Okay. No, not like that. So here you have two options. You either use the curly braces, yep.
Yeah.
And just keep left and right and so on. But you don't need this left, this part here, okay?
Yeah.
Or you do like node n, and then you can do n.left, n.v. Oh, and this is value, right? Not v.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see if we have what's the problem here? Oh, we already apparently already had one somewhere.
Okay.
Oh yeah, okay, we had one. Okay, let me delete this one. That's fine. Sorry, not this one, the other one, because we want this to be closer. Okay, so I'll just delete this one. It's totally fine. Okay, so let's jump to the error again. Okay, so can you guess the error here?
Yeah,
There you go.
the value.
I think you have one more error at least.
Yeah, it's print. It's always print, not
Yep.
print 3. I have 3 more errors.
Okay.
And this is value again.
Okay.
And whoop, print 3 int is undefined.
Yep. Can you see why? This just needs to be 3 int, right?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
yeah. Oh, okay. So what if it's empty again?
You can pick
well,
off what we did in case the list is empty when we're printing and do pretty much similar.
Wait, but
Yep, except the constructor has a different name. Instead of empty,
Yeah.
it's empty 3. Okay. So let's see. Okay, what do you think the problem is here? So first off, you're kind of concatenating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things. And you're showing value twice, once with show and once with print. And you're printing left, but also showing left.
Okay.
So the thing is, you should not be using show at all, I don't think here.
Okay, so I should just delete the first half of the...
I think so. I think this should be correct. And then, of course, you don't need any... Oops. You don't need any of the parentheses, sorry.
Yeah.
But this looks right. And again, this will not really show you... of course, it will not print a nice 3, and it will also, like... maybe it would be nice to at least have some, like... I don't know, some terminators here. At least some commas or something, right? But... this should be fine. Okay. So there's 2 more instances, right, for this?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the equal instance that I did here. And I did the class again. I did start with the... I did start with the... What do you call it? With instances. And then I just...
You forgot midway.
All of them. Yeah. Okay, so
then
this
we
should
need
be...
something like this.
Yeah.
Let me help because you already know this part. Okay.
This should again be equal, and again the lovely error. Yeah.
Okay. But again, don't forget it needs. So in this case, when you have 2, we ended up using some variable here, right? So we ended up saying, okay, let's use like n1 and n2, and then you can do n1 dot left and n2 dot left or whatever, right?
Okay.
Okay, this is also a bit like not really right. I think it's easier if you just try to start over.
Yeah.
So okay, what do we do first? We look. Where would you look first?
So I know that I need to compare 2 trients and see if they are equal or not. So I would start with n1.x.
What's
and
x?
see.
Because
it's left.
Okay.
Okay. And see if it. Can I use equal here?
Yep. You have to use equal. Actually, you cannot use equal. So like double equals.
Okay.
Okay, and then what do you do?
And I have to add this, and I use equal of n1 dot value with n2 dot value.
Yep.
And I also need n1 dot right with equal.
Yep. So this line is correct, but you are missing some.
It's against the empty one, huh? Yeah, it's okay. Oh, two cases again. So equal.
So okay, finish typing. Okay, so which of this? So now it will compile, but it's not correct. And let me give you an example of why it's not correct. So if I try to compare two empty trees, it will match this and it will tell me it's false.
Okay. So I have to go for like this, right? Because 3-2 doesn't have to be empty.
Well, no, like in this case, you don't know what T2 is. T2 could also be empty.
Yeah, yeah.
But we need a case where both of them are empty.
Okay.
And we need that to be okay. Yep, that's correct. And then there is one way to make it one line shorter, which is we could, instead of these two lines here, we could say equal whatever equals false, right? Everything else is false, basically.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not kind of exactly the same thing. Okay. And usually, like when things go like this and it's hard to read on one line, you can do something like whatever, something like this, right? And make them maybe slightly easier to read. Okay. Oh, and then you have also the compare instance for trees, right?
Yeah.
Although that's super weird.
Yeah. Where the first value was more important, and it's
okay, so I think let's see where the first problem. So let me help you with the indentation first. Okay. So then, like the first problem is you have to kind of match like this right here.
Yeah. So it's again n1.
Yep.
And n2. Okay. And now because
so I think the first place we need to look at is the value, because I think that's what the first value is important. So I think we need to look at if we were to follow a bit the idea from the list version, we could do something like this, right? So instead of a and b, consider that this is value, right? So if n1 dot value is different from n2 dot value, right?
Yeah, so n1 dot left different.
No, dot value, not left. Because then left is like a subtree, right? So we look at the current node, right? So n1 dot value is different, I think we need to do. So yeah, exactly. Then n2 dot value. So what do we do here?
We compare n1 dot.
No. Wait, left.
Wait.
So okay, so the thing, this is the idea, right? So consider, let me see, because I don't want to draw it again, but let's see if I can find one. So where did we do trees? Was it
the
here?
Tree? Yeah. I also have it. Wait.
Let me get the tree that we drew.
I can.
Yeah, I found it.
Okay.
Okay, so let me paste it here, just so.
Okay.
Okay, let's do this. Right, so okay, so let's see that we have two trees, right? But imagine there's imagine that both have 5 here, right? And then we go here. Actually, let's just look here, right? So we just start. One has 5 here and another one has 6 here, right?
Yeah.
In this first position. Well, we don't go to the left and just check them next, right? If this is different, then we just compare this value and we stop, right? So we only need to go deeper if these things are equal, right?
Yeah.
But if they are different, then we just compare n1 value and we just compare the values, and that's it. We're done, right?
Okay. So if these two are not equal, Oh.
Sorry, I just did this. Okay, so if they are, yeah, exactly. Okay, so if they are not equal, okay, so if they are not equal, so if this is 6, right?
Yeah.
Or 4 or 3 or whatever, then we just compare the values and we're done, right? So in this case, we
Values,
just
yeah.
do compare values, right? And one value and then two value.
Yeah.
And that's it, right? That's the easy
Mhm.
part. Okay, but then we have an otherwise here, right?
Yeah. So I have to compare the left first, right? And then the right. If so.
Yeah, so we compare left first, I
Yes,
guess. Yeah.
but can I wait? Okay, so I want to try this. So if n left and n2 left are not equal, yeah, can I do this again?
Let me think. Not really. Okay, so you want to compare rights if lefts are not equal.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, you want to compare lefts. Well, no, because this would probably take a long time to do, right? Because okay, just looking at one value is relatively fast, so this is fine. But in this case, what it will do, it will look through the whole tree to see if they're not equal, and it could be a very big tree, and then it will go through the whole tree again to find where they're not equal, right? So this is not ideal thing to do.
Okay.
What I would do here probably is I would do something like I guess you can do an otherwise, right? So okay, let's think. In which case do we also want to go to the right, right? So here, if we compare everything, right?
Yeah.
So okay, if this is bigger than this, like here, for example, if we have one here, right?
Yeah.
We're just done, right? We know that this tree is bigger than this one, right? Or if this is 7, then it's the other way around, right? So basically, let's try doing this, right? Let's try saying otherwise here, right?
Okay.
Right. So let's say if we can compare left and two dot left.
Yeah.
Right? So basically, we kind of want to see what the result of this is, right? If this is greater or not greater, like greater or lower, then we're done. If this is equal, we also need to see what this is, the right is, right?
Yeah.
So I think we could do something like this. If this is not equal, right?
Yeah.
Then, well, okay, that's not very nice because you need to compare it again. Let's just do otherwise here and make this reasonable implementation, right? So let's see. We could do this. We could do case compare n1 dot left and 2 dot left of, right? And then you could say, okay, if it's equal,
yeah,
right? Is it equals? I think it's equals.
Equals.
If it's equals,
Yeah.
then okay, we'll figure out what the result is here, like result 1. And if they are not equal, so in any other case, let's say else here. Well, we can't use else. Let's say compare result. Then it's just compare result. Does that make sense? Because we're saying, see, okay, if it's equal, then we need to also look in the right. But if it's a different result, then we need to well, it's CMP. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because this means, okay, if it's left, sorry, if it's lower, then it's lower. If it's greater, then it's greater, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting an error saying that we're not following, like we're not handling all the inputs, but this is not done. So what do you think needs to be here? In case the lefts are equal.
So in case the lefts are equal, we should compare the rights.
Yep, that's all we need to do.
So,
Yep, I think that's correct now. And the only thing that we still need to do is to do the empty, yeah.
right, because if both of them are empty, then it's true.
Yep. Well, no. So it's either equals, greater, or lower, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Unfortunately, here we need all the cases. I don't think we can get away from not using all the cases, right? So this is, what do you think this is?
Empty tree and something else, then it should be lower.
Yep, exactly.
And compare. Oh, no. The other way around.
Mm-hmm. I think this is correct now.
Yeah.
Cool. This is a lot harder than the others, right? Well, I mean, not a lot harder, but it is harder than the other versions, right? Because it's a bit trickier.
I do have one question though.
Yeah.
Would it be worth it to I finish the other exercises for the next time and we jump into monoids, or do you want to finish this? I mean, it's up to you.
Okay. So you're saying you've not started this, so you're asking if we should do them together?
No, I did, but
okay. You're wondering if we have enough time. No, so I think the idea is that literally this is going to help us go into monoids. So let me see. So this is pretty okay. So important. Think about a class. So this is important, and then this is how we're able to use it. You can derive an instance for string. Yeah, this is literally Yep. Let's continue with this, because that was the idea of this homework. This walks us straight into monoids.
Okay.
Okay, so the problem here was, while you paste it, is okay. So the thing is, think about and define a class. Let me make more room that can concatenate two lists or two any type of list that we've defined, right? So for ints or for strings, right? And this was the example for lists here, and this is okay. How do we concatenate, or this is it? And I think we actually copied this from a previous exercise, right? Because this we already implemented before. And the hint was, okay, it needs to be a class that's concatenating, and then what kind of signature do you think it has, and how do you think it looks like initially, and then try to define instances for list int and a string.
Yeah.
So let's see what
this
do you have
is here. I tried to go through all the exercises, but this one was I wasn't really. This is what I. Okay. I didn't know what to do with this one.
So the trick here is kind of this is almost right. There's one small mistake here. So let me explain for a second how you think about this, maybe a different way. Let me see. Actually, do we have in part 3 the concatenate? So this is okay. Different concatenate. Do we have a? Okay, we didn't do the concatenate for list strings. Okay, so let's see. If we were to let's maybe, because what we're trying to do, we're trying to kind of make something that's kind of like concatenate list int and concatenate list string, right? So let's try this.
Yeah.
Okay, let's rename this, and then this is empty ls, and this is mk list string, and then this is mk list string, and then of course this is s1, and then let's just call it list1, and then list2. So this is s1, this is list1, and then this is list2, and I think they should compile now. All right, so okay, if we look at the two signatures here, right?
Yes.
It's like list int to list int to list int, or like two lists something goes into the list something, right?
Okay. Well, my first thought would be to just add an a. Yeah?
That's correct. That's what you needed to do.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So the concatenating class is kind of like, okay, if you give me two things, I can smash them together into a single thing.
Yeah.
Somehow, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now basically if we try to do this, you can literally just say concat equals concatenate list int, and that's it. Just like magic.
Okay.
Because in the instance, all the A's become list int, right? Which is exactly this.
Mm-hmm.
So then there's nothing to do here, right? It's just, okay, we already did that, right? But the trick was list string, right? The trick was figuring this out, right? And once you figure this out, then this is. I
did play with it around a bit, but I felt like 3 A's would be kind of silly to have.
I mean, I did not show you any class like this before, right? So all of the other classes, you had maybe some type parameters, but the result was always concrete, right? It was either Boolean or some compare result or something, right? But it was never like a type variable like here.
It does make sense. It's one of the first things that comes to mind because it gives me two list ints or two list strings, and I get another list int or list string. So yeah, okay, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So then, did you get here, or do you want to try to do the concatenating instances together for string?
Yeah, 1 second, please. Okay. Ooh.
No, that's not even the thing we need to do. So okay, let me explain for a second. So when I say a list for one for string, it means that you type string here, right? And then this thing needs to be just string to string to string, right? Because all A's become string, right?
Well, I did. The initial version was like this, but then I thought that you told me that I can't use instances for so they have to be types.
Well, string is a type, right? It's not a alias or something, so you can do
Yeah.
this.
So I thought I needed a constructor in order to use instances for it.
No, string is a constructor, is a type, so you can use this actually.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, I didn't think it was. Oh.
Okay, so do you know how to implement this now?
Okay. Give me 1 second, please.
Yep,
Wait.
that's it. Wait, what's the
But
problem?
what if they are empty, right? Or what?
Is it a different name? Oh, it's concatenating.
Okay.
The name. I mean, you don't care if they're empty, right? Because if I'm trying to concatenate this with ABC, I just get ABC,
yeah.
right? So that's fine. You don't have to worry about that. Let me. Okay. Did I still? Okay. What's the problem now?
Concat string.
Oh, okay, because it's concat.
Yeah.
And it's still a problem. Okay, so then you use the same name here, right? So it's just concat string.
Yeah.
Actually, this here can be anything, right? It just doesn't have to repeat, right? So, okay. Okay. So, do you want to show me what you tried, or do you just want to write it from scratch now?
It looks too. I can show you what I wrote.
You really don't have to. You can just write it from scratch if you want now, because you've learned a lot today. So just feel free to write it from scratch.
Concatenating. It should
fine.
be.
Just type whatever.
This doesn't matter, yeah. But
yeah.
You know, for the sake of being constant.
Okay. Okay, so we have the concat. Yep. Yep, exactly. That's it.
Yep.
Okay. So can you try this one?
For booleans, right? Okay. Well, I didn't really understand what this should do, but okay.
Yep.
I don't understand the result here with the. Do I get like a string or I get boolean and boolean?
I mean, in order to figure out what that is, you just look here, right? So if you're declaring concatenating for bool, you replace all A's with boolean.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now concat B2, B1 and B2 equal Like this?
Yep, that's it. I mean,
Okay.
just like plus is an operation on two integers to give you another integer, so is and an operation on two booleans that gives you a boolean result. So it's there's no problem in doing that as well. It's totally fine.
I mean, I feel pretty bad for wasting an hour on the homework.
This is useful because now is the time I tell you that concatenating is actually just a semigroup instance. Sorry, a semigroup class. It's the same thing.
Okay.
Okay, so let me explain from scratch. Now let's start a new file.